Happy day students, welcome to class 10 physics. So today we are going to discuss about the chapter 10 light reflection and refraction part 1. Students, we see a variety of objects in the world around us, isn't it? However, we are unable to see anything in a dark room. On lighting up the room, things becomes visible. What makes things visible here? During the day, the sunlight helps us to see objects. An object reflects light that falls on it. This reflected light, when received by our eyes, enables us to see things. Correct. So we are able to see through a transparent medium as light is transmitted through it. There are a number of common wonderful phenomena associated with light, such as image formation by mirrors, the twinkling of stars, the beautiful colors of a rainbow, bending of light by a medium, and so on. A study of the properties of light helps us to explore them. By observing the common optical phenomena around us, we may conclude that light seems to travel in a straight line. The fact that a small source of light casts a sharp shadow of an opaque object points to this straight line path of a light, usually indicated as a ray of light. Correct? So in this chapter we shall study the phenomena of reflection and refraction of light using the straight line propagation of light. These basic concepts will help us in the study of some of the optical phenomena in nature. We shall try to understand in this chapter the reflection of light by spherical mirrors and refraction of light and their applications in real life situations. Introduction of light. So light is a form of energy which helps us to see objects. When light falls on objects, it reflects the light, and when the reflected light reaches our eyes, then we see the objects. Light travels in a straight line unless until we are giving any medium. It may bend or it may penetrate in a medium. So the common phenomena of light are formation of shadows, formation of images by mirrors and lenses, bending of light by a medium, or reflection of light. When light falls on a highly polished surface like a mirror, most of the light is sent back into the same medium. This process is called reflection of light. You can see this image. There is a highly polished surface like a mirror. When the source is coming from a point, that is the ray which is coming from that source, which is lies on the mirror, and it is reflected in the other surface. So here we can say there is some reflection which is taking place from the incident to the reflection. Says the 2 points, mainly the angle of incidence is equal to the angle of reflection. The incident ray, the reflected ray, and the normal to the mirror at the point of incidence all lie in the same plane. So here you can see the incident ray which is falls on the normal plane mirror and which is reflected in the another surface. So you can see here the angle of incidence which is equal to the angle of reflection, and the ray of incident, the ray of reflected, and the normal which is lies on the same plane. Now in a normal plane mirror, you know how the image is forming. So normally the image is erect. You can see this image, the image is erect, the image is same as the object, then the image is at the same distance from the mirror as the object is in front of it. The image is virtual, that means cannot be obtained on a screen. Discuss about spherical mirrors. What is a spherical mirror? Spherical mirror is a curved mirror which is part of a hollow sphere. Spherical mirrors are of two types. One is concave mirror, another one is convex mirror. You can see here so many devices we are using in a real situation. Right, so the spherical mirrors is a curved mirror which is a part of a hollow sphere, and spherical mirrors are of two types. One is concave mirror and convex mirror. Now we will discuss about concave mirror and convex mirror. Concave mirror is a spherical mirror whose reflecting surface is curved inwards. You can see this image that the ray of light which is coming from a source, and it is actually converging, and you can see or you can assume this mirror which is polished at the back side. right? So the ray of light parallel to the principal axis after reflection from a concave mirror meet at a point on the principal axis, that means converging. So it comes parallel means it will meet at a one point at the principal axis. And we have a convex mirror. Convex mirror is a spherical mirror whose reflecting surface is curved outwards. You can see this image, that convex mirror which is curved outwards, and outwards there is a polished surface at the back side of the mirror, so that if the rays which is coming from the source, it will be diverging and at every point through the principal axis. So the focus of the principal axis, which is other side of the convex mirror, that means the ray of light parallel to the principal axis after reflection from a convex mirror get diverged and appear to come from a point behind the mirror. You can see thus this image. Now we will discuss about more detail the study of spherical mirrors. What are the terms used in the study of spherical mirrors? First thing is the center of curvature. Is the center of the sphere of which the mirror is a part C. Now you can see normally it is a concave mirror. Suppose I am considering this is a spherical surface. So like this, if I am considering, means where is my midpoint, it is the center of the point. So my consideration of the center of curvature in a normal curved surface mirror, it is a center of curvature. So the point which exactly at the center of the point of the sphere. Next we have radius of curvature. Radius of curvature, somewhat it is similar to the center of curvature. How we are assuming in a normal sphere. So from the point 2 at the pole. So here you can see from the point C to P we consider as the radius of curvature. It means that is the radius of the sphere of which the mirror is a part of CP from the point C to P. And third one is pole. Pole is nothing but it's the center of the spherical mirror. That means this is the spherical mirror. Suppose I am considering this is my spherical mirror, means the point which says P is called pole. And fourth one is principal axis. Principal axis is nothing but is a symmetry. Now I am taking the point from X to Y. So this is my axis I am considering. So before the line or before the mirror, I can understand it is a negative direction, and after the mirror or behind the mirror, I can consider it is a positive direction. This is what it's said, explained in a Cartesian sign convention, right? We will discuss about later. So principal axis is the straight line passing through the center of curvature and the pole. That means from the center of curvature to the pole, through the pole. Principal focus. What is this principal focus? In normally concave mirror, rays of light parallel to the principal axis after reflection meet at a point on the principal axis called principal focus. So my ray is coming in a normal or the parallel lines through the principal axis. Suppose in a convex mirror or concave mirror, it is converging. So where it meets the point? It meets the point at a normal at a one place. So we can say it is actually a principal focus. So this F denoted by principal focus. In a convex mirror, rays of light parallel to the principal axis after the reflection get diverged and appear to come from a point on the principal axis behind the mirror called a principal focus. Now you can understand that in a normal concave mirror, it is actually converging and it is actually focusing before the mirror. But in a normal convex mirror, what happened? It is diverging in the other side of the mirror. So the principal focus which is meeting at the point after the mirror. So this is what the difference of convex and concave mirror. We consider the principal focus. And we have one more thing. It is a focal length. Focal length is nothing but is the distance between the pole and the principal focus. Where is the point? The pole, which is actually at the center of the curvature, right? So here, center of the sphere or center of the mirror. So P to F is called as a F. So we can take it as that is the focal length. That means from point F to, you can see here, from point F to point P, right? So this is, we call it as a focal length of a mirror. Okay, so the focal length of the mirror is nothing but is the distance between the pole and the principal focus. In a normal spherical mirror, the radius of curvature is twice the focal length. So here in a normal spherical mirror, this is the radius of curvature. That means it is a twice of focal length. So we can say the radius of curvature of a normal spherical mirror is r is equal to 2f, right? So that is a twice of focal length in a normal spherical mirror, right? Image formation of a spherical mirror or the reflection by a spherical mirror. We have to follow some rule to find out the image formation, particularly a concave and convex mirror. We have to follow some rules to find out the image formation in spherical mirror. That is the first point. First point says, in a concave mirror, a ray of light parallel to the principal axis after reflection passes through the focus. So what it says that, suppose this is my principal axis. You can see this is my axis. So this is the ray which is coming parallel to the principal axis. So it is actually after it is reflecting, where it is focusing, actually it is focusing at the point focus. Okay, so it is parallel to the principal axis and the point which is meeting at the focus. So where is my image will be formed? My image will be forming here. So this is what exactly, when the ray which is from parallel to the principal axis, definitely it will focus at the point focus, principal focus, and the image will be forming like this. Okay, in a convex mirror, a ray of light parallel to the principal axis after reflection appears to diverge from the focus. So now we will now we have discussed about concave mirror, but when coming to convex mirror, this is the ray which is coming from the source and it is parallel to the principal axis. What it is exactly, after reflection it is actually diverging in the same side, but it is actually converging in the other side. So this is the point which we should consider in the convex mirror, and the focus and it is also focusing at the point principal focus. So this is the way the source which is coming parallel to the principal axis, it is diverging, and the connecting of the point, this is the imaginary line we should. Concave mirror, a ray of light passing through the focus after reflection goes parallel to the principal axis. Now we can understand that the ray is coming from the source and it is actually focusing at a point and it is converging parallel to the principal axis. Okay, this is in a concave mirror. And coming to convex mirror, in a convex mirror, so this is the polished surface, right? This is the polished surface. So you can see this is the polished surface. So the other side should be polished in a mirror, right? In a convex mirror, a ray of light directed towards the focus after reflection goes parallel to the principal axis. You can see from the source it's coming here. Okay, and it is directly focus at the point and it is diverted in the point itself. So in this point we can understand that the reflected ray which is parallel to the principal axis. So where is the incident ray? Where is the incident ray? It is an incident ray, right? So this is I and it is reflected here. Okay, and here you can understand this is my incident ray, right, and it is reflected. So where is my incident ray? This is my incident ray and it is reflected here, right? So this is way we have to understand. When we have discussed about the first point, what is that? Actually the ray which is parallel to the principal axis and it is converging at the point at the focus. But here second point which says this there is a ray which is coming and it is passing through at the focus and it is parallel to the principal axis, but it is below in the axis, right? In the convex also it is opposite to that. Okay, we will discuss about the third point which says, in a concave mirror, a ray of light passing through the center of curvature after reflection is reflected back along the same direction. You can understand here, this is the concave mirror. So the ray which is coming at the center of curvature, or it is passing through at the center of curvature, but the reflected ray also which is again passing through, or it is reflected through the center of curvature. Okay, and in convex lens also same, it is the rays coming through the center of curvature, and the reflected ray also which is passing again in the same direction. So this is the third point. That means in a concave mirror, a ray of light passing through the center of curvature after reflection is reflected back along the same direction. In convex mirror, a ray of light directed towards the center of curvature after reflection reflected back along the same direction. Fourth rule, in a concave or convex mirror, a ray of light directed obliquely at the pole is reflected obliquely, making equal angles with the principal axis. You can see here, this is the concave mirror. The ray which is coming from this direction, that means it's an incident ray which is pointed at the pole. So obliquely it is reflected equal angle below the axis. So the angle of I, which is exactly equal to the angle of R. Okay, and in convex mirror also, the ray which is coming here from here and in this direction, and it is pointed at the pole. So what it means, that obliquely equal to the direction of reflected ray. So the angle I, which is equal to R. And one more thing we have to discuss about image formed by a concave mirror. Now we can see here, when the object is at infinity, this is the object which is lies at infinity distance. Okay, this is the object which is lies at infinity distance. So what it exactly says, that it comes from a parallel to the principal axis. That source is coming parallel to the principal axis. So when the object is at infinity, the image is formed at the focus. So what we have discussed in the before reflection by spherical mirror. So the parallel ray which is always pointed at the focus, and also it parallel to the principal axis. So what is the nature of the image and size of the image and the position of the image? We have to assume that it is highly diminished. It means very small image we will get, very small image, and the image will be real, and the image will be real, and it is inverted like this. Okay, right, and it is inverted. So this is what, when the distance we are assuming it is infinity, it always come as a parallel to the axis, and the point will be focus at the principal focus, and the image will be formed at inverted, highly diminished, and real. When the object is beyond C, suppose I am my object which is kept beyond C. So the C is nothing but it is a center of curvature. I'm keeping my object beyond C, means what is my image formation? So it is again parallel to the principal axis, the ray which is coming, the incident ray which is coming from this direction, and it is parallel to the principal axis, and it is pointed at the focus, right? And also one more ray which is taking place at the center of curvature, and my image forming, it is diminished, real, and inverted, right? And third point which says, when the object is at C, suppose my object I am keeping at the position C. So what is my image formation? Image formation, again parallel, the ray which is coming parallel to the principal axis, and one more point, one more ray which is coming from this direction, and it is focus on principal focus, and it is diverging, and also this direction of the ray which is parallel to the principal axis. So what my size and position or nature of my image is, same size as the object, real, and inverted. So at the position itself it will be formed. So the my object which is real and inverted and the same size of the image when I am keeping my object at the center of curvature. Point, when the object is between C and F, Suppose I am keeping my object between C, center of curvature, and principal focus. So what is my ray from coming from? From here, one ray which is coming from the object, and it is focused at the point, and one more ray which is again focused at the point. It is diverging at the two directions like this. So what is my image formation? My image formation is real, inverted, and enlarged. Enlarged means the image will be big size. Okay, so this is the position which I am keeping the object from or between C and F. Point when the object is at F. Exactly, I am keeping my object at the focus of F, that means principal focus. So where the ray which is taking place from the source to pole and sorry at the mirror at the incident angle, and it is reflected at the focus point, and also it is taking place at the center of curvature. Okay, so what is my position and size and nature of my image? That means highly enlarged, you can see the image formation, highly enlarged, real, and inverted. Okay, so this is about exactly my nature, position, and size of the image when I'm keeping my object at F, right? Now sixth point, when the object is between F and P. Suppose I'm keeping my object in between F and P, that means principal focus and pole, or near to the mirror. What happened to my image formation? My image formed behind the mirror, and it is enlarged, it is virtual, and erect. Okay, so this is my exact image formation when I'm keeping my object between F and we are keeping the object in a concave mirror. So this is the detailed manner we can understand the position of the object, position of the image, size of the image, and nature of the image. So what I exactly we can recall it, when my object which is placed at infinity, what is my position of the image which is at the focus, and what is the size of the image? It is highly diminished and point size. What is the nature of the image? It is real and inverted. And my image which is keeping beyond C, that is center of curvature, where is my image? That is a formation of my image which is between C and F and C, and the size of the image is diminished, and the nature of the image is real and inverted, right? And my position I'm keeping at C, exactly at C, that means center of curvature. What happened? My position of the image, it is also forming at exactly at C, right? What is my size of the image? Same size. And what is my nature of the image? It is real and inverted. And my position of the object is center of curvature, between center of curvature and F. What is my position of the image? It is C, and size of the image is enlarged, nature of the image is real and inverted. Position of the object is at F. What is my position of the image? At infinity, highly enlarged, real and inverted. Between P and F, position of the object, the position of the image is behind the mirror, it is enlarged, virtual, and erect. Clear? Far we have discussed about concave mirror, that means the image formation of a concave mirror. Now we will discuss about the image formation by convex mirror. In this normal mirror we have a only two position. We can understand that when the object is at infinity, suppose my object is at infinity, the image is formed at F behind the mirror, it is highly diminished, virtual, and direct. So we can understand that there is a image formation, it is highly diminished means very point size image only you can get. So point size image, diminished means point size image, highly diminished means very small object we can get the image formation, point size, and virtual, erect, and it is forming When the object is between infinity and the pole, the image is formed behind the mirror. It is diminished virtual index. Somewhat a little bit image we can get when you are keeping the object infinity and pole. So what is my nature of the image is virtual, and position of the image is erect and diminish. Size of the image is diminish. Position of the object in a convex mirror at infinity, I am keeping position of the image at the focus behind the mirror, highly diminished point sized and virtual erect. Between infinity and the pole P of the mirror, between P and F behind the mirror, that is the position of the image, and diminished you will get and virtual erect. U and V. So the object distance, which is I am taking as a term, physics term, that is U. My image distance is, sorry, this is my image distance in this particular image, so I can consider this as V, right? So image is taking as V, and object distance is taking as U, and my focal length, in between the focal length of a particular distance from pole to the focus, which is actually F. 1 by V plus 1 by U, which is equal to 1 by F. The mirror formula is expressed as 1 by V plus 1 by U, which is equal to 1 by F, right? And what is the magnification of spherical mirror? Magnification of spherical mirror is nothing but magnification of spherical mirror is the ratio of height of the image to the object. So suppose I am saying this is my object height and this is my image, so which means it's a concave mirror. Okay, so it's focusing like this, so I'm just ignore it. So this is my image formation, so this is my H O and this is H dash. So height of the object and height of the image, I should take the ratio from the image, height of the image to height of the object. Okay, so this is my magnification to find out the for the spherical mirror. And one more thing, the magnification is also related to the object distance and image distance, as expressed as, it is expressed as H I H naught, which is equal to V by minus of V by U, because you know it is a downward direction, we should take the height of the image is negative, right? So that's what we are indicating, this negative sign. So me minus V by U, what they are saying, suppose I can also relate the distance of V and U for the magnification of spherical mirror, right? We will discuss about one example problem from the textbook, that is example 10.1. Before we are going to do the problem, we should understand the question, and we will do the ray diagram now. What is the question they have given? A convex mirror used for rear view on an automobile has a radius of curvature 3.00 meter. If a bus is located at 5 meter from this mirror, find the position, nature and size of the image. So now we have to do what? We have to use ray diagram, what we have discussed by using the Cartesian sign convention. Okay, so this is my convex mirror. This is my convex mirror. So I am going to draw a principal axis at the center of pole. This is my center of pole, and they have given the radius of curvature. So actually the radius of curvature we should assume behind the mirror, because convex mirror having like this. Okay, so if concave mirror means you have to consider, or you have to assume the sphere which is like this. So here the radius of curvature from the point to at the center of the curvature, or the center of the point of the sphere, so this is R. So my distance of, say, radius of curvature R is equal to how much? Plus 3.00 meter, right? And if a bus is located, so bus is nothing but it is the object. If a bus is located at 5 meter, so my bus is located at 5 meter, so I can understand the bus is located from the point to the from point pole to the distance of 5 meter. So my distance is nothing but it is minus 500 meter. Okay, from the mirror, right? So we need to find the position, nature and size of the image. So how to find out this? So we should think about here. They have given only radius of curvature and the image distance, that is u only they have given. So if you want to find out the image distance or the magnification of this particular spherical mirror, we need focal length. Okay, we need a focal length, and you know what is the mirror formula? 1 by v plus 1 by u, which is equal to 1 by f. Okay, so if you are proceeding this equation, we need to find out the focal length before that. So what is the formula for focal length? We know already that r is equal to what? 2f, right? So we can understand that f is equal to r by 2. So r they have given already, right? So already they have given, means they have given 3 meter plus 3 meter by 2. So you can get the focal length, that is 1.50 meter. That means half of the radius. The focal length is nothing but it is the half of the radius from the mirror. So f is equal to what? 1.50 meter, right? Now we come to the point, that is mirror equation we are going to use. So now how the image is forming? 1 by v, which is equal to 1 by f minus 1 by u. So we are arranging this equation by interchanging the formula, that is 1 by v is equal to 1 by f minus 1 by u, which is equal to, you know what is 1 by f? 1 by f is nothing but plus 1 upon 1.50 minus of 1 upon 5.00. We will get the value, that is image will be getting 1.15 meter. That means the image formation is nothing but before the focal length. Okay, so that is before the focal length. Here itself it will be forming. So what is my image, which is I can get virtual, erect and smaller in size, right? So the magnification we need to find, means we need to use the magnification formula, that is the image formation is 1.15 meter at the back of the mirror. So back of the mirror we will get, and my magnification formula is h prime upon h. H prime is nothing but it is the image height. They didn't mention any height of the object. We can also take it as v distance and u distance. So v is nothing but we have found, that is 1.15 meter upon 5 meter. So it will be coming as negative magnification, and you know it is actually both are will be negative. Minus and minus will get cancelled. So you'll get 0.23 is the magnification of a particular mirror. So here the image is virtual, erect, smaller in size by a factor of 0.23. So far we have discussed about reflection of light, right? Now we are going to discuss about refraction of light. Refraction means it's penetrating inside an object, right? So when light travels obliquely from one transparent medium to the another, it gets bent. This bending of light is called refraction of light. When light travels from a rarer medium to denser medium, it bends towards the normal. So you can understand this. It is actually penetrating inside a transparent medium. What is this rarer medium and denser medium? Denser medium is nothing but I can say this is a water medium or oil, whatever it is, a transparent medium, or glass slab, right? Prism. Okay, so this means it's a denser medium. Rarer medium, I can understand it's an air medium, right? So this is the air medium which is entering inside the denser medium, and it is slightly bends its reflected ray. Okay, so this is what the refraction takes place, right? When light travels from a rarer medium to a denser medium, it bends towards the normal. When light travels from a denser medium to a rarer medium it bends away from the normal. So what exactly they are meaning? When it is coming from the rarer medium and it is refracted inside the denser medium, the reflected ray towards its normal, but in a normal denser medium to rarer medium, so this is my rarer medium, or here I am taking as a denser medium and it is inside the rarer medium, means what is my normal or the reflected ray, it is away from the normal, right? We will